You should be fearful. Your children might get pregnant by jazz. What? But that's the idea, right? And I think that, in a way, you can kind of understand it. That was insane, right? That was aggressive and dirty and full and just passionate and just raw sound, right? Not something that they've experienced before, right? It's something that was in the streets. It was something that black people did, right? This is not the everyday thing. So the Carnegie Hall made special arrangements to reinforce seats, chandeliers, walls, the roof, and even the ushers in a frantic attempt to keep everything within the domain of the building, because they're also going to steal all the shit. Come on, man. So you did have some grumpy pusses in the audience who left at intermission. They're like, no, this is terrible, and they left. You had what I'm calling the first ever get off my lawn incident, where some gray hair turned around and said, shut up, you punks, right? You had that because you also had some Benny Goodman heads who were there, because it was like 80 cents was the cheapest ticket, which is, I don't know, 15 bucks or so today, and it went up to like $2, so it wasn't super expensive. There's actually a gentleman that a friend of mine, Peter Flaith, if you guys know who that guy is in LA, who he met, who went to both the Carnegie Hall show and then later on the Savoy battle. And Peter's like, oh my gosh, you went to both? Like, that's the ultimate prize, right? Everyone, we talk about, like, you know, you're sitting around the camp, you're tired, and you're like, well, all right, we have a time machine, what do you want to do? I want to go back to January 16th, 1938, so I can experience this day. It's very significant. So Peter's like, what'd you think of the Carnegie Hall show? And he goes, eh. And he's like, what? And the guy's like, well, I was young. I wanted to dance. You couldn't dance, right? Whereas other Benny Goodman shows, there was plenty of dancing. Benny Goodman's schedule was 6 nights a week at the Pennsylvania Hotel. Rehearsals, he did the Camel Caravan show on Tuesdays. He rehearsed on Thursdays after the Pennsylvania Hotel gig. He rehearsed until 4 a.m. for the Camel Caravan gig. And then he would also do 6 matinee shows a day at the movie house, and sometimes Sunday benefits and other shows. It was a job. It was a full-time gig, like ultra full-time, like overtime. Well, they didn't have overtime back then, but right, like it was a lot of work. When Benny was reflecting on the show, he said that personally, it was the thrill of my life to walk out on that stage with the people just hemming the band in and hear the Greeting the Boys guy. We were playing for Bix and the fellows on the riverboats in the honky-tonks at Gin Mills that night. So he fully understood the impacts of the show. And when we, let's see here. So, well, I'll go back to this. So, in the 1953 concert, when they actually released the 1953 radio program in New York, when they were releasing the concert, Benny Goodman was quoted saying, you know, the records they made of that Carnegie Hall concert, I had to be an egomaniac about that. I had to see that swing wasn't just a fad, I told myself. Swing wasn't just a fad, I told myself. If it doesn't sell, then my whole life's work is worth nothing. Holy crap! That's insane, right? The funny quote that I was laughing at was, so Buck Clayton, who played with Basie band, his mother is quoted as saying, well, if jazz is good enough for Carnegie Hall, it must be pretty respectable now. Because in those early days, only people who liked jazz were prostitutes. And they played in those little dives way down in the basement somewhere, and fights and all that. Continuing idea of degenerate behavior though, right? So clearly it was a huge, huge success since we're talking about it today. But fortunately also that night was the infamous double of the Savoy concert, the battle between Chick Webb and Count Basie. Chick Webb, King of the Savoy. Count Basie, a new band, the new kid from Kansas City, right? So this is from the newspaper ad from the battle that night. And what's real fun that rarely gets talked about is that technically there was 3 shows. You can see Chick Webb and Ella at 3 o'clock at the matinee, go to Carnegie Hall to see Benny Goodman with all of Basie's dudes, and then go back down to the Savoy for Basie versus Chick Webb. Insane. Chick Webb playing, of course, with Ella Fitzgerald, and Count Basie playing with Billie Holiday. The Savoy Ballroom opened in 1928, and the one thing that I did not know until doing the research for this talk was it opened fully integrated. 100% fully integrated. I had no idea. And I think that that's a testament to the dance and what we're kind of here talking about, right? Is the dance and the music didn't care. There's quotes from Norma of like, well, you know, what was it like, you know, white town? And she's like, I didn't care. I didn't care what color you were. Like, can you dance? It don't matter, right? This wasn't necessarily the first time that there was a battle. Basie actually played Carnegie Hall the year before. Benny Goodman battled famously Chick Webb. It wasn't that this is a significant battle in the history of battles. It's simply that it's also on this date, right? We're marking this date. Because a lot of people talk about the birth of jazz happening in 1936 when Benny Goodman was crowned the King of Swing. The problem with that statement is that there was numerous black bands performing swing alongside Benny Goodman, right? Now obviously the culture at the time would indicate that whites were superior to blacks and that whites got credit for everything. But we get to look back on it and be like, well, let's do some corrections here, right? And honestly, I think that this concert is more significant and more of the birth of swing because he played an integrated band. And not just his band, but with another band, right? On stage that night. That's important, right? That is significant. That could be when swing really started, right? But since it happened on the same day, we get to talk about it, get to listen to music, right? Let's see here. So generally it was 85% black and 15% white, but from time to time it would be 50-50 split. The normal entrance fee was 30 cents to 85 cents. It was cheaper the earlier you showed up, which is true of nightclubs, but complete opposite of swing dances today. You show up at 10 o'clock, it's free. Back then, 10 o'clock, that's 85 cents. Maybe like 25 bucks or something like that, 20 bucks. The floor had to be replaced every 3 years. Because back then, to be the home of Happy Feet, which the Savoy Ballroom was, you had to have a pristine dance floor. You had to have the best band, and you had to have the best floor. Otherwise, they would go somewhere else, right? Because it was cutthroat. It's not like there's one gig. There's tons and tons of ballrooms and dance halls and bars and other places, juke joints, to go and listen to music and to dance. So unless you were the best, they were going to go somewhere else. I don't know how big this place is. Hey Kenny, what's the idea?
I can step it out.
I'd like to know that number like today, not tomorrow. So let's guess, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40 by 60, 80. All right, so we're talking 3,000 square feet. The Savoy Ballroom was 10,000 square feet. Now, by this floor plan, it wasn't necessarily 100% dance space, but it's still going to be massively significant, right? 10,000 square feet is huge. We're going to listen to Count Basie Chick Webb and Benny Goodman. Because this idea of a band battling, you're like, well, I guess Chick Webb and I guess Count Basie, I can't really tell a difference. I don't understand why they would battle. When I hear bands battling today, like, it's just one song and then a different song. It's not a real clear distinction like there is between, say, Britney Spears and I don't know, 21 Pilots, right? Like, but back in the day, the difference was that significant. Britney Spears versus 21 Pilots was Count Basie versus Chick Webb. So we're going to listen to 3 tracks, one from each artist, and we're going to hear and identify how the bands were that significantly different. So the first we're going to listen to is Benny Goodman. And these are all songs that were recorded in 1937, 1938. They're all about the same tempo, right? But they're going to have 3 very different feels. Benny Goodman is going to be pushing you forward. He's going to be driving you. And that's what we're going to listen to here with Roll 'em. Back again. So then we're going to play Chick Webb, and Chick Webb kind of is in the middle. He plays a full swinging sound, just gigantically full. And this is a track called Blue Skies. Count Basie, and this is actually recorded at the Savoy in 1937, and Count Basie is going to pull you back, right? He's going to pull you way back. This is called Bugle Blues.
Oh, baby, play the Bugle Blues.
So much more laid back, longer. So again, remember, all 3 songs are about the same tempo, but they don't feel that way, right? Again, Benny Goodman pushing you. Chick Webb right in the middle, Count Basie on the back. And it's almost like you have a car, and Benny Goodman's the front bumper. Chick Webb is like the cab, and and Count Basie is like water skiing off the back, right? Because Count Basie, he sat so far back. So we're going to listen to him again, so we can hear those differences. Benny Goodman. I don't feel like I want to sit. I feel like I want to push forward. Chick Webb. Significantly different. They did not sound the same. And you can run the same thing when you listen to Fletcher Henderson's band, when you listen to Glenn Miller's band, when you listen to the Dorseys. Those A-list, Ellington, those A-list players, their bands sounded significantly different if you listened to the music, right? So, band battle. What is a band battle? Band battle comes from a cup contest. A cup contest is basically where one musician cuts down the other musician with their respective instruments. Starts off with a piano and kind of elevated up into the instruments to then a full band. It's kind of a novelty thing, right? No one actually was physically cut, even though I'm sure there was fights afterward. But it was a real popular aspect of swing music and swing dancing. And when they talk about who won that night, there's a lot of interesting tidbits. So the two singers that night were, of course, Ella Fitzgerald with Chick Webb, and this is a classic Ella song. Very identifiable, right? And then playing with Basie that night was Billie Holiday, also very unique, also highly identifiable.
Now we're going to have Count Basie and all the cats swing on down to the tune called Swing Brother, Swing.
So that's Chick Webb. Chick Webb was a dwarf hunchback with spinal tuberculosis. Very tiny, right? But a powerhouse behind the drum kit. Absolute powerhouse. Everyone respected him. He was the #1 swing drummer of all time, or is the #1 swing drummer of all time. Not to be ever dismissed. Of course, Ella Fitzgerald, and you have Benny Goodman right here, Duke Ellington right here, some dude right here,